Hello YouTube and welcome to another review, and this time we have AIRFIX's World War II Australian Infantry 172 scale. Now I've already done the 132 set, and which I had as a kid. I think I said at the time I bought it at jumble sale and loved it. I never had this set and I was always really annoyed that I never had it because it always looked like such an amazing set. So we're going to take a look at this today. So this is the 172 scale version. The artwork differs slightly on the front than the 132 set. It does directly transcend to 132 set, although obviously with the 172 set getting more figures, you've got a few more poses in there, so that's an added bonus. Now this obviously is the war in the Pacific. They're wearing slouch hats, which obviously was pretty much the staple of the Australian New Zealand forces at the time, and still is to this day. I think they wear them for dress uniform. So the artwork pretty much consists of, we've got a Bren gunner here, we've got a guy throwing a grenade just to his top right, and we've got a guy on the Thompson submachine gun on the far left. This is pretty much a decent sort of portrayal of what you're going to get in this set. We've got an actual size figure over this side, and like I say, the artwork's not too bad. I don't think that's too bad at all, really. Good shot of the guy with the Bren, so it's pretty good. On the back we have our usual AIRFIX little snapshot of what you're going to get, which I always think is brilliant because it's very, very clear. We've got 4 guys marching, we've got 4 guys charging, we've got 4 guys with a Thompson, we've got 1 officer, we've got 2 radio operators, 4 guys taking a shot standing up, 4 guys clubbing, which is a rather bit excessive. We've got 3 guys poised to charge, 4 Bren gunners kneeling down, 4 of the iconic guy throwing the grenade, 4 guys carrying ammunition, 3 guys who look slightly wounded, 4 crouching, and 3 lying down with the Bren gun. So all in all, it's not a bad mix in there, so quite happy with that. And it says down here contains 48 unpainted pieces. So again, we've got a nice little shot there of all the figures, and we've got the write-up as follows: the Australian Army fought many theatres of World War II, and this set depicts them in possibly the most challenging theatre of all, the jungles of the Southeast Asia. They fought with great distinction and courage in World War II, and in the Far East they had many successes and victories against Japan, namely Mine Bay and Kokodo. 48 unpainted pieces. Contents may vary from those illustrated. Okay. And like I say, the Aussies did do very well everywhere they went, more especially Tobruk, and they were in North African desert, so they did very well for the British, no doubt about that. So we'll get that out the way, and let's have a look at the set. Here we go. So this is our guy with the Thompson. He is using a grip on the front with the Thompson there. Now, in terms of the actual quality of the mould, it's pretty dire. It's nothing like what it would have been back in the day. The plastic does feel sort of rubbery to the touch, so the quality is not as good as what it would have been back in the day. It's actually got just written down near my thumb to the left, 1975. So that's giving you a good sort of readout of when that was actually moulded in there. So that's about 1975, this set, and it would have looked a heck of a lot better than it does here. Detail wise is very, very good. These guys come in a bit short, they're about 20mm in height. Now in terms of comparison with the matchbook set, which I've also reviewed, they come out the exact same height, mainly because the AIRFIX base is thicker. So they come out at about the same height. Now I'll do a comparison with those a bit later on the video, but they do come out at the same height. Same with the Japanese as well, the AIRFIX Japanese, they're pretty much coming in at the same height as well, mainly because their base is a little bit thinner. So whether or not AIRFIX realised these guys were going to be too short and they made the base thicker, I don't know. So here we've got a guy carrying an ammunition box. Again, very good detail. Very good detail. Just slight bits of flash here and there in between his legs on this one. He's got his bush knife. I'll flip these around just to have a look at the webbing. British 1937 pattern webbing, and they used to wear, I think these wearing US gaiters, which the Australians did mix and match with British and American equipment. They also wear US herringbone trill fatigue trousers as well, and I don't know whether these are actually worn on this set, but just to make that clear, they did mix and match their clothing, so they'll be US gaiters without a doubt, and possibly wearing American style pants as well. There's his knife cutting through the jungle, and slouch hat obviously. Water bottle, again minimalistic equipment, sort of AIRFIX fare. They don't really go overboard, but nice detail. Again, this pose we've seen before. It's a well copied pose in the AIRFIX set. Now what breaks this pose up on this set was it's better done. It's certainly a lot more higher in quality. The Lee Enfield rifle is really good, and the hat, the slouch hat, just makes it, the bush hat just makes it so it looks really good, and I haven't got really much of a problem with that. If I flip him over, we've got good detail there underneath as well. And this guy, I really like this guy in the 132. This one is a little bit flashy, but he'll pass. That's our ammunition guy, just carrying his stuff. That's him from the back. Now here's our iconic grenade thrower with his Thompson. Again, he's got the extra grip on the front, and a really iconic pose, this one, and really nicely done. Again, he's a little bit flashy in this set. It's not exactly coming through as well as it would have back in the day, but lovely. Nice creasing in the trousers, and it's just a great pose. And even the Thompson is done very well for the size this is. It's very good. This is our injured guy, who's kind of lying there. He's obviously been hitting the leg possibly. I know the Chindits used to just leave these behind with a few bullets and a grenade. Whether or not this is happening to this chap, I don't know. But he's not looking too clever. Well, probably 3 of them's a bit much. Again, we've just got a repeat of the figures you've already seen. AIRFIX's favourite, the guy clubbing someone, but we've got probably too many. You know, I don't see any problem with having a guy clubbing someone with his rifle. I don't think this pose quite pulls it off. Don't think it's very animated in a sense. It just doesn't sort of work as well for me. And we've got 4 of them, which is a little bit excessive. But a nice model of the rifle that comes through quite clearly. And there's our officer, and you get one of those. Pistols just not quite coming out, it's a little bit, but at least I can tell it is a pistol, so it's not that bad. Nice detail on him. He's got his bush knife out, and yeah, you can see a good modicum of detail on him. It's not a bad figure at all. Spin round to the back, and yeah, lovely sheath for the knife there. You can see that. Nice. Here's our generic sort of radio operator. We've all seen this pose before, namely in the British paratrooper set, and that's the 132 one. It looks very similar in model and position. Radio is very basic. The aerial's probably a wee bit thick, but c'est la vie, it's a radio operator. I think we've just got one or two of those, so we can live with that. Here's our guy just sort of threatening a charge. I'll flip him around first. Again, it's not bad. Yeah, I mean, obviously, currently the Matchbox set sort of leads on this one, and it's not the fault of the set itself. It's a very good and well sculpted set. It's just whatever the molds are, or whatever maybe the past the sell by date, or whatever, the quality's slipping. They're just not coming out as crisply as what they should do. I'm very sure if I went on eBay and bought a brand new set from 1975, they'd be excellent. But this set, not so good. But the detail and everything is still there, and if you want a little bit of work, just trimming these up. And fair enough, they're not in that bad a state, to be honest, but the Matchbox set's coming out a bit crisper. So here we have, and this was very, very sort of revolutionary pose at the time. It's very well done, and it's much copied these days. In later years, the other manufacturers have copied this pose. On this set, it's not the fault of the original. I think it's just the mould is a little bit tatty now, and it's just not coming out as well as it could do. This has always been the case with this one. That is a blocked fill. It's just the way they moulded this one, so that's the way it goes. But it is a very, very good pose, and I love it. Very nice. So yeah, standard issue with all 172, 132 sets is a guy firing, standing up. No problem with that. The rifle's fitting nice and snugly just against his cheek. And you can quite clearly see it's a Lee Enfield. And that's not bad. Flip it over, and this is the guy's in a more of a loose charge. He's certainly advancing. Nice open shirt. Bayonets coming through very well considering the state the mold's in. Nice creasing on the trousers. The hat works very well. Flip it around. That's his bayonet sheath, it's not his bush knife. Nice. And the good thing about the AIRFIX bases is, I mean, I don't know about you, when I was a kid, our house was carpeted, and 172 soldiers just wouldn't stand for toffee. Now AIRFIX would always fare the best because their bases were a lot thicker and heavier. Your sets like the Matchbox sets would really struggle on a carpet, so AIRFIX sets really held up on that one. And here's our Bren gun. I always love the Brens. We've got a nice collection here, and it's a really nice model. Like I say, bits of flash, things like that, which wouldn't have been in the original. But it is a really nice pose, and I like it a lot. Very, very good. So that is all the figures I've done. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to compare. So I've got the Matchbox Australian trooper against the AIRFIX trooper and against the Japanese AIRFIX trooper, so we'll take a look at that now, so bear with me. Hi, so welcome back. So this here, we have the Matchbox, as they describe it. Revell describes it as Anzac Infantry, which is obviously incorrect, but it's the original Matchbox Australian Infantry. Here we have the AIRFIX, and here we have the AIRFIX Japanese, and the AIRFIX Japanese set isn't a great set. Now the main worry is that Plastic Soldier said this one was actually taller. It's going to work out taller than the Australian, which would have been a worry, but you can see how they dodge this by thickening the base of the AIRFIX Soldier. So he actually marries up fairly well with the Revell Anzac Infantry, and also keeps them just on par with the Japanese infantry. So all in all, these sets can actually work quite well together. Now obviously the only problem is Matchbox bases are sort of oval in design and a bit shoddy looking really, whilst the AIRFIX base is always a lovely good square solid piece. But the main thing is that the figures do work quite well together, so that may help people, I don't know. If you were to trim the bases and try and get these to sit on one piece of card, say you're wargaming these chaps, you may start running into a bit of an issue there. But as it stands, the way the bases are, they all come pretty much on par. So just be wary on that case. So I just thought I'll show you that, and then you know what you're getting yourselves in for. So this base is probably about 1 millimeter thick. That's probably about 0.5 millimeter, and this one is barely 1/4 millimeter thick. So that's how that works. So the actual figures, all in all, with the sort of differences in the base, actually come up about the same height. So if you can handle having different bases and things like that, then you're fine, you haven't got to worry. But that's where we go on that one. So this Australian set is a bit difficult to get your hands on. Now I think I bought this on, I think I did get this on Amazon, and it was a bit pricey, to be honest. I think I paid about £10 for it, when really it's only about a £6 set. It should be on par with the others, but I had great difficulty getting my hands on it, so I paid a little bit more. Now it is a nice set, it is worth a buy. I'll always give this set a thumbs up, I've always wanted it, and I still think it's a bloody good set. And to be honest, the only issue with this set is it's hard to get, so the price you're going to pay is probably about the price you'll pay for the Anzac Infantry that Revell are doing. And to be honest, it's a much cleaner product and the detail is exceptional. So I'll leave you to sort of pick your brains on what set you would rather pick. Let me know which one you think you would actually pick. I know we're all a bit nostalgic and we always like to stick with AIRFIX through thick and thin, but you know, that Revell set, which was the old Matchbox set, is really tough to beat. And I always put the AIRFIX Australian set ahead, and I think if I had the vintage set I probably still would. But all in all, I'm quite happy with the figures. It's just a shame the recent recasts are just not pulling it really as well as the originals would have. So that was my review of AIRFIX's 172 scale World War II Australian Infantry. And 1976 I think I've got on the actual issue date, but I'm pulling 1975 as I said on the mould, so you know, there you go. So that's 2 reviews I've done there with sort of inconclusive dates on when these things were actually made, but c'est la vie, it was a long time ago, and to be honest, a year here and there I don't think it matters too much. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon. Happy New Year, and hopefully I'll get a few more reviews in soon. Bye.